Hey there guys, thanks for joining us on another board game night. Today we're playing Village Attacks. This is by Grimlord Games and designed by Adam Smith. So we're going to give you an overview of this so you can see a little bit about what the rules are like and what the gameplay is like. So we'll show you some gameplay of us playing it, and of course we'll give you our review at the end. With me to help me with this is Tony. Hey Tony. Martin. Myself, Jason, and we also have Dave. Alright, so I'm going to give you a quick overview of what the rules are like and what the theme is about, and then we'll get started with the game, and then come back to you with the gameplay so you can see how the game flows and what decisions you get to make, and so on. So, first things first, we're playing a 4-player game, so each of us has a monster. And the theme of this game is basically, we live in this castle, and this is the castle heart where we start. The peasants and the hunters and the town heroes are all going to come and destroy us. Kind of like the movies in Frankenstein where you have all the peasants come running out with their pitchforks and torches and come burn the house down with all the monsters inside. That's what's happening here. We have a little bit of a scenario going on here. So we're playing scenario 6, which is what's it
dinner time or something?
Dinner time or feast time or something, where we basically got to take these peasants, so the ones that look like this, and we've got to drag them from the castle into the kitchen. Once we've done that 4 times, we will win the game. But the game has also set us a challenge. So we got this castle heart board here, which tells us we have 17 points. Every time the villagers attack in the castle heart, they will do damage to the castle heart. And also every time we die, we lose 2 points off the castle heart. So if anyone's ever played Orcs Must Die or that type of thing, it's a very much a sort of a tower defense style game, where waves and waves of these townsfolk will become rushing into the castle, trying to get to the castle heart. If they destroy that, it'll destroy us. We then use our boards and dice to basically stop them. So this is me, the Banshee. Martin is playing the Vampire. Tony is playing
the Headless Horseman.
Yep. And Dave is playing the Lich. There's another character in the base box, which is the Succubus. But you could play this basically 3 or 4 players, or even 2 as well.
I imagine you could play with 1, to be honest, but I don't know, because it's co-op. Or maybe you play with more than 1.
Well, that's true, yeah. So what's going to happen is basically, start off, each person will take their turn. You get, where's the dice? There we go. We got these 6 dice. You roll them on your turn, and they do different things. So that is melee attack, that is defend, that is retaliate, that is villagers move, that is a magic ability or heal if you're in the castle heart. And there's one more, that one, which is a range attack. So on your turn, you roll those 6 dice. I'll roll them over there so you can see them. And then you basically have to activate your abilities. If you somehow roll 3 of the same type, so like that, let's say that's not what I would want.
I think they know what 3 of the same type means, Jason. I wouldn't go too specific.
You can re-roll them. In this case, obviously, you can choose not to choose. I wouldn't
just
choose.
Say it's basically if you roll 3 or more of the same type, you can choose to re-roll all or none of them.
Exactly, yeah.
So you can't keep some.
And then you have to allocate your dice. So you can use any dice for movement. So on your player board, it shows you, for example, over there, I'm the Banshee, so I have quite a bit of movement. So I can use any 3 dice except the villager moves icon, the little torch. I can use for dice. I can keep 2 dice in reserve, and I can keep 1 dice in defense. This is how much XP I need to level up to gain new abilities. And this is how many health I've got. Once I lose 7 points of health, I die and respawn the next turn at the heart, and we lose 2 points of the heart. So that's roughly it. We'll each take turns doing our actions, moving around the castle, killing monsters, heroes rather. So heroes and villagers. They'll spawn on their turn.
Hunters, peasants, and there's heroes that will spawn as well that are quite powerful.
Yes, and they're some more specific to some of us, as we have traits. All of that will become more clearer during the gameplay section. But once we've done all our turns, then the villagers will get to do their turn. They'll spawn new guys and move towards the heart if any of them are left, and so on and so on.
Meanwhile, we're trying to grab the 4 and take them to the kitchen.
Exactly.
Let's not forget. So we're fending those off whilst trying to grab some down and throw them in the kitchen. It's going to be interesting.
Okay. So, I mean, there's not really much more else to explain. There's event decks, which will trigger at certain points during the game, which we'll explain. There's lots of tokens and stuff which we'll explain during the game, but the basic idea is on your turn, roll your dice, allocate your dice to do actions, and then go from there. Alright, so we'll be back in a minute. Alright, so this is the gameplay section. We've had a couple of rounds, just to give you a quick update of what's happened. I managed to get one of the peasants into the kitchen, so we've scored 1 out of the 4 peasants to be done. But, unfortunately, that has cost me a little bit, as I've taken a burn token, because it ended out in the courtyard, and I've now bumped into the executioner. What happens is, as soon as you drop a peasant off, the town heroes spawn over here. So we got an executioner.
He is terrifying.
And this is his ability. So he's got 8 health. He can move 1 space at a time. He hits for 3 damage in 1 hit, and they automatically hit, and he's range 0. And when he hits you, he gives you the slow ability. He's also a proficient at fighting demons. Luckily for us, there's no demons on the board, as we're all different classes. I'm undead. Martin's cursed.
Mythic.
I'm also playing cursed as well.
Arcane.
Alright, and then we've obviously got the other guys are in here in the center. We've got a couple of peasants and a hunter in here. There's some more peasants down that end, some hunters of this end, and we're ready to go. Dave is the first player. We do have some other things. We've not lost any health on the heart, so that's 17.
You will when you heal your burn.
Yeah, that's true. We're not using the village morale for this game, and currently the village event phase is on 2. When it reaches 5, we'll get our first event card, which comes from here.
That's basically a turn track, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
So we're about to start turn 3.
And these are the traps that are available to us to buy this turn. So, we're ready to go. Dave is the first player. He's going to roll some dice.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of the one I kept. I don't think I need it. So, what have I got?
That is a lot of range, Dave.
Yeah, and I can do 1 anywhere. I really wanted to.
Oh man, you could do 3 in the executioner.
I'm actually thinking that's a very good start, is just doing 3 on the executioner.
Just to point out, obviously, he's got 3 of a kind. Yes, he could re-roll those if he wanted to, but
Do you want to do that with
No.
damage?
I'm thinking 3 and then running away from the executioner.
Obviously, ranged ones, you can only shoot adjacent ones, and you can't see this, but this is Dave over here.
Gonna be this bag as well, because we haven't even put it the right side up so you can see what Dave is.
So this is Dave here. He can't target any of these with range because they can only be attacked by melee. He can target this guy with range. So that's what he's thinking about at the moment. But obviously, these guys will hit them and then move on in their face. But I suspect we've all got a round to go before they get to that. So there's a chance that...
The thing is, we don't really want to go backwards.
Do I get
No.
experience for hitting the executioner or only killing?
Killing. It's 2 for
Killing a town hero.
or 3 if it's your arch nemesis.
Okay, so... Right, I'll hit the executioner for 3. I'll spend an eye to... Run away!
Just so, by the way, in the heart itself, you can spend the eye to heal status tokens and heal yourself in there as well.
But it costs...
The eye token.
Does it? It doesn't cost Castle
Only
Heart,
if
does
you
it?
No.
Only if you res, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I shall stash these 2. Can't see any reasons not to, just in case anyone gets there and starts slapping me, at least I'll slap him back.
So what he means is he's got 2 reserve spaces, so he's keeping 2 dice for next turn in case he wants to keep them. You don't have to, but there's no reason not to.
And then I shall pass that on to you, Jason.
Yes. So
Hopefully you'll get 6 range and we'll kill the executioner.
beginning of my turn, because I'm on fire,
Good luck with that.
take another damage. Obviously my damage is 7, so I'm down to 5. And roll my dice. Alright, so I've got a couple of eyes, I've
You've
got
got no
a
rerolls
torch,
either.
a couple of shields.
Take it you're getting rid of the ones you held.
Oh yes, and needing to keep them. Alright, so I'm pretty fast, so I can move. Hindering works like this. For example, if I move there, I can move out of there, no problem, because I have more wounds than there are models in the square. But if there was, because I've only got 5 wounds, if there were 6 models there, I would be stuck there. So that's not too bad. So what I think I might do...
So is it if there's an equal, so if you were in there's 5 models there. Could you move out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just when you there's they outnumber
When they
you.
outnumber the amount of
yeah.
rules you have, okay.
So out of these 6 dice here, this one I can't use for anything. That's going to be moving villages no matter what. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going
Well,
to
that'll move the furthest away ones anyway. So it's going to be these guys.
Yeah.
Furthest from the heart, that is.
So I'm going to use one of these eyes in my movement section to move up to the.
That's an interesting point I hadn't realised as well. This 1, 2, 3. It's equidistance away. So actually, these heroes that spawn in here
Are
might
running.
end up moving with the torch symbol as well.
Oh, that's quite annoying.
Yeah, be aware of that.
So I'm going to use that to move in there. Then I'm going to use my melee to hit the executioner for 1 point of damage. Then I'm going to use one of these defense tokens to move again, and I'm going to move into here. Then I'm going to use this eye to buy a trap. So I'm going to buy this spike trap. So it costs an eye, which is the up at the top there, and it tells you down at the bottom here what it does. It does 2 damage. This symbol here says all rooms, and that symbol there says all villages. So it affects all villages in any room, and I'm going to put that there. It seems like I just did this off my iPad. We actually discussed this just before we put the camera on to put that in there. Try and maybe finish off some stuff that moves in there. Then I'm left with a shield and the village token. So the shield I'm going to use to put in my defense, which goes up there. So if someone does attack me during their turn, I have some defense. And then I'm going to use this village icon to move the furthest away, which are these guys. So they move into here. There are a couple of things in there. This little icon over here represents that this is the armory. This tile is the armory. So when they attack from this area, they get +1 attack. These guys got all range, so they're going to get bonus from there. And this one represents the courtyard. If you end your turn in there, you get burned. That's where I got burned from. So that's me done.
There's your defense.
Thank you. And then I pass this on to Martin. And now it's his
I
turn.
will not use these anymore. Hockey dokie. So really, we need to be doing a fair amount of damage to the big idiot, don't we?
He's 50% down.
And if he goes into that spike pit and it triggers, who does it hit? Is there a priority again? Will it hit the peasants?
Yeah, it goes peasants, hunters, then heroes.
So we need to, because I can do one to the big guy,
Yeah.
run in, hit him for another one, and then he's within kill range of that. Then I'd probably run back out again if I'm honest.
Yeah. But have you got enough? Yeah, move in, move
But
out.
you've got to remember the peasants move before the trap triggers.
Yeah.
We don't want the. Oh, true. Yeah, we don't want the peasants dying anyway, do we? Yeah. Okay, I'll definitely do that then. I'll shoot him for 1. Then I'll move. Yeah, I'll use that, and then I'll hit him for 1. So I'll move into here. Oh God. Then I think I'm going to move out again. I think I'm going to use that one. I've got 8 health, and I'm going to bank those 2 defense. And that is me. So Executioner should cark it when he walks into that pit.
I'm a little concerned about those peasants there.
Tony's here, man. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's actually carrying one as well.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Just like got one over his shoulder, club those 2 dead, and then just carry on walking.
I forgot to mention that Tony's got he's also got a peasant on his shoulder, so he's slowed as well. And you can only carry 1 at a time. So he's moving.
Wallop.
So you're gonna kill 2. You have to kill the 2 peasants first.
Yeah, I have to kill the 2 peasants first.
Well, that's 2 XP for you.
Get in there.
So you're on 5 at the moment, so you need 2 more to level up.
I will bank that and bank that.
Throw the eye away. You haven't got a
You've got
first trap. We
yeah,
can't because it's a small room or corridor, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
That is
Oh,
it.
she won't.
Right, so that's a round of hero
yeah.
stuff. Now we go to
Village
farmers. Yeah.
Farmers. Well, I suppose some of them might be, but I don't think they're.
So the first thing we do is we move this up. So this goes up to 3. When this reaches 5, it'll trigger an event. Then we have any events, we would trigger them now. Then starting with the zone closest to the castle heart. So this is the one here. The heroes and stuff will fight first, then move.
You get hit.
Yes.
Still not sure of that.
So basically, he's green and I'm green. So the priority is he will always attack his preferred enemy first. I'm the preferred enemy because we're the same color. If let's say I wasn't there, then he would prefer to attack the heart, which he can do.
Because he's got range attack, yeah.
And if the heart wasn't in range, then he would attack the other guys.
And it would be literally a coin flip.
Exactly, yeah. So, but I have luckily kept something in defense.
He does extra
two.
damage.
Yeah, he does 1 to me, but 2 because he's a preferred enemy. The shields block 2, so I save both of those. So that's him. Then we go to him. He hasn't got a range attack.
Thank God.
Oh, we forgot he moves.
He then moves after attacking it.
Yeah, and then he got no one to attack, so then he moves.
Man, that executioner in the heart would be horrendous.
Yes.
He needs to die. PDQ.
He's going to die now anyway.
Yeah, good.
Trap's going to kill him. Then those guys up there will move. These guys, they can shoot, but they can only shoot one range, which is into there. So they'll move up.
And now, obviously, they're quite dangerous. So next turn, if they're still in there, they'll hit for +1 damage because they're shooting from the armory. I guess
And to me,
yeah, conceptually, they find good bows and thrown knives and stuff in there. And
they will actually kill me if I stay there, and we don't deal with them.
they're unlikely to stay there though, because
Yeah.
one torch will move. Well, one of those two.
Right, so that's the village attacks. Then move in that order. Then traps trigger. So this will trigger, doing 2 damage to first peasants, then hunters, then townsfolk or town heroes.
Oh man, nobody gets the XP for that then.
No, which means
well.
Deals with it.
I'm all right, to be honest with that.
Yeah, I'm quite happy that he's dead.
Yeah, he's terrifying. Not that he actually hit any of us, but he was
well,
scary.
we totaled on him.
Yeah.
So the trap trigger. Then we spawn new villages. So
Okay, so this one over here by Tony. Right, we're playing the. I think
Tier
there's like
1.
an optional difficulty thing at the background. When we're playing with 4 monsters, you add +1 to this number. We're playing tier 1, so it's basically this is 2 hunters +1, so we're 3 hunters.
and they go down with Tony.
And if Tony,
I've got one
now I've got the bag here, and we draw one from the bag, and their preferred enemy is also green.
Yay!
So, a bunch of undead hunters. Oh dear, there's a lot of those on the board. And then the spawn point by Dave is again the same rule, so 5 peasants. Peasants don't have a
3
preferred target.
The model's just so FYI. I mean, we see here you got basically 3 different types of peasants, and Dave's going to put 2 more down. They don't have any. The different variant models is just there for aesthetics value. They're all just peasants. And the town hero doesn't trigger until Tony drops off his cargo. Right, so now we remove any expired tokens and cards from play. There isn't any. My burn will go only when I go to the heart and get rid of it there, or someone can heal me with an ability. We deal a new trap card. The new trap card is a chandelier. Yeah. And this can only be triggered in large rooms.
Where we are now.
And then the first player coin, which is this cool little metal coin, comes to me as Dave was the first player last turn. And now we start a new round. So I take all the dice.
What does the chandelier do?
2
shoot
damage
from it.
and villagers retreat from a zone. So, ooh.
That is 2 torches. It's interesting that you could re-roll those 3 claws in the hope to get another torch to then re-roll the torches. But
Yeah.
that's proper gamble, that is.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm thinking more I'm going to use this to move and go in there and kill all of them.
That's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
Oh, I take another damage because I'm still friggin' burning. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm gonna,
There's someone in the heart at the moment, isn't there? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm going to use this to move. I'm going to go in there. And then I'm going to use all 3 of these to kill all 3 of them. Ba, 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 ba. Getting me 3 XP.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, I know, 1 more. But then, of course, these 2, I can't do anything with them. So the furthest,
Those guys.
yeah, they'll move in for the 1 torch. And then those...
And then, just to say, because they're now, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So they're at equal distance. He goes to the one that hasn't moved first. Is that right?
Yeah.
So it's these guys.
Now it's interesting. I'm pointing this closer because this is interesting. One of the rules: if they can't physically fit into the tile, they will shunt the others forward.
Oh yes, they could just
So they all fit.
Yeah, there ain't nothing. Yeah, basically, there's a rule called heaving, where essentially the things move in and the things that are currently in there will be pushed out. But we can do the same. So, if, for example, if I was to go in there, it would push some of them out. And I think it's the priority again, so it pushes the peasants out.
Yeah.
Leaves the... Which may actually happen at this point.
All right. So that is basically
You
my
save
turn.
no dice, yeah.
No, I saved nothing. I'm all in.
Okay.
I'm actually a little tentative on tender legs.
Don't need my defense.
We have different classes just as well. Just to mention, the Banshee is what is this class called again? The attacking one.
I don't know.
Well, Tony's the Guardian. You guys are the support, and then there's a third class which is like a really aggressive.
Same as you.
Oh yeah, you were also an attacking class. I can't remember what it's called. It's gonna bug me now. I need to look it up.
What's that first? What's the portal do?
Move all villagers one zone in any direction.
Okay.
Decimators. Me and Dave are decimators.
So I'm actually that
So
good at
you only-
decimating with my
You only
one
kill
defense
1 in
and 6
10
wounds.
peasants.
I think it's more to do with upgrades. Once you upgrade, you get better stuff. I think.
The villager activate icon, that's going to move those guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Moving them's not a bad thing because then Jason can nick one of them.
Right, I'm going to move, I think... Oh, no, hang on. I'm going to shoot first.
1.5, are you sure?
Do you actually kill one in the heart?
Probably, because I can deal with the rest coming.
Because you haven't been yet.
No, I'm the
Dave.
last player. It's, do we want to risk leaving one in the heart? Just in case I get that really
I'm going
bad.
to kill one from here. Let's kill one of the peasants, because I can't...
It's got to be peasants first.
Yep. Okay, that's that.
I thought you were going to shunt them.
No, I'm going to move in there. Oh, I think I'm moving with that. I'm going to knock one out. That-
Oh, you're stealing it.
just to be clear, a villager. I'm going to grab him so I get a slow now.
Yep. So you're carrying a meat bag.
I'm going to get attacked quite a lot now, aren't I? Might keep that dice. And I've got this one left. I'm going to put that portal in there.
So the portal needs an eye, yeah?
Yeah.
Where are you putting it? In the one with they in?
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to move before the portal trick, is it?
No, they're going to wail on me.
Oh. No, but they move and then they
wail and
move.
then move.
Oh, of course they do. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Someone's eventually going to go in there. Right, then activate these bozos.
Which is
There's
them.
those, yeah.
And they come into my square. They never attack on these triggers unless they're in the heart and they can't move any further, then they will attack.
There you go, Big T.
Are you going to keep any of those tokens?
Probably not.
No.
See, slowly trundle forward.
I'm just walking forward doing this.
I've got plenty of meat bags here for me to capture. Although you two have one each, so
I
we
assume
only
we
need
can
one
drop
more.
them.
Yeah, sure, why not? Especially when you die.
Yeah, just thinking, oh, I'm going really slowly. Screw it, I'll just drop it.
Okay. So peasants would activate first, and we'd have to flip a coin to see if it was those peasants or those peasants.
Yes.
Or I could move.
How many
in
torches
there.
have you got?
One.
Oh.
That's a shame. You see.
And you can't, if you go into the square that Martin's in, you'll bump the peasants backwards.
Yeah, I'll squeeze the peasants that way.
And if you come into my square, you can obviously murder some dudes there, but I assume, have you got any range attacks? No.
I've got one range attack, which I'll probably do first.
There's still like one in the heart.
Oh yeah. I'm going to deal with him now. I'm worried about it.
Yeah, more for me to get attacked by. Finally get to use my regeneration ability. Get in.
You think you're going to get attacked? I got no dice and there's 5 dudes in my square.
I've only got retaliation, to be fair.
I'm dead.
Well, I can do something about
Again? Jesus.
Unless,
The irony being, he could have killed one of those.
yeah.
And it's
Unless,
just like, the hearts.
unless Tony and Dave thin down some of these peasants, I'm a goner.
No, I'm going to go thin them down a bit.
I'll make some space for you, Tony,
Yeah.
to get your big butt in here.
Right. I'm going to do the peasants first.
Which one?
Okay, so flip the coin, Jason. So
Right,
heads, tails.
Yep. So, just so that's tails, that's heads. In case you're all wondering. Tails.
Those guys.
So the peasants from here.
Phew. That's less people to beat the crap out of me.
Well, that makes my decision then, because I can move that one and go there and thin out two of the ones on you.
You get 2 XP for that.
And I'm going to level up.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
that's going to give me a shield there. Okay.
So you've actually got 8 points. As
Yeah,
well.
so what that means is you have to spend the 7 you have, so you send that back to the supply, and then you get, because you can see his 7 is what he needs to level up. He then gets to use one of his new upgrades, so you can either,
You can get a new power, or he can get an upgraded version of
Yeah.
a power that he's already got. So these are double-sided, and obviously he's got one that's a better version of that.
of course I just showed the one that's not a double-sided. So you get the base version and then an upgraded version.
And I've gone for my first attack. Kills 2.
Yes, because he's a bit of a brute. Alright Dave, make us proud.
I'm not going to keep any in my reserve. Oh, that's not really what I
good,
wanted
this
to
one.
see.
Should
It's
hold
only
them up.
peasants actually.
Yeah, but with
I could have taken them.
any kind of villager.
Yeah.
Really good.
2 villagers,
Yeah,
and you got no triples, so that's definitely happening.
right. So I think I'll
Uh-oh.
use one to move into there, knock one out a villager.
Knock one out of a villager.
You could have shot them both before you moved in there as well, and emptied that room.
Well, I figure as I'm on full health and Jason's burning and dying, what I'll do is use the 2 shooting to thin these
But don't
out.
worry, they're going to walk into you anyway this turn.
Yeah,
So-
with your village things.
Either or. So yeah, and then I have to activate them too, so that villager joins me.
and the hunters.
So-
So everyone's in front of the horde now.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really bad.
and I'm the one who's getting the shit kicked out of me.
Yes, you really are. Have you got any protection?
Actually, no, this guy, this group are going to shoot Jason.
Yeah, he's gonna shoot me. Oh crap! There's 3 of them, and that's 2 damages.
We tried saving him, but
Oh,
The irony being, if Dave had actually shot those guys, you'd have been alright.
yeah.
Because
Oh well.
if there was 3 in there, he'd have been okay then. But he's made it worse.
So the villagers phase, we moved that up first. There's no events triggering yet, so then we start with a zone that has everyone in. So first thing, we'll start with them. They'll basically range attack 0 to 1.
They shoot you before the heart, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
They always go for their preferred enemy, which means I'm dead.
So
Right.
it's 2, 4.
6 damage.
So the first 4 kill you. So the next one will shoot the heart then, won't it?
Yeah.
For 1.
Yes. So the heart takes 1 damage. Ooh, that's the wrong way. I take 4 damage, which will kill me. Which means I teleport back to my starting bed, and then in my next activation, I'll respawn there and continue
Sorry,
with
where do you teleport back to?
my home pad.
I thought you said you're starting bad. He's one of those.
Right, so those are those guys. These 3 will attack Dave.
Yes.
So it's 1 damage each because none of them have a preferred thing.
That's 3.
And then
So bad.
they all move.
I mean, that bit's not great.
No, it's not.
Oh man, I thought I was going to get a Paggering that turn. Literally nothing happened.
No, I got a peggery.
Yeah, and me.
Standard.
I've just lost 50% of my health.
Okay.
And then
traps.
traps.
Nothing.
so there's nothing to do. And then spawn new villages.
Okay, Tony. Ooh, that's not ideal.
That's a town hero.
So did we just draw another? Oh, draw one of those.
Actually-
That's the dead guy. Don't bring him back. Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, actually, let me just. Yeah, there was filming that. All right. So the town heroes basically will spawn, but they don't spawn here for the normal spawn. They spawn in their normal activations. So
So
the
who's appeared?
Scald.
I thought it was called Saeed then. It's like, what? So he's a red
Which is against,
against Tony, in fact.
and he's got a battle song. All villagers that attack in the Scald zone deal +1 damage.
Oh, good. Oh, he does 3 damage as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he's only got 5 health this time.
And no range, thank God.
It's pretty
Go
tough.
get him, Tone.
Where is he? Oh, there.
Over there. And now over by Dave, we have 4 hunters of the purple, your one, Dave, variety. Just to say, there's a bag here, like if we showed this, with a token for each of us, basically. When we draw hunters, we see what kind of, no, it's just hunters, isn't it?
Yeah.
See what kind of their preferred enemy is.
That one.
Yes. Wrong one, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
God, can you imagine having more than one of those on the board at the same time?
Jeez, yeah, that would be pretty annoying. There's actually quite a lot of expansions for this, like little add-ons that adds loads more different themed villains and stuff like that.
Like Blofeld and...
Yeah. All right, so spawn
Who's
new.
the frog in Danger Mouse?
Baron
Baron.
Greenback.
That's it.
We got a new trap,
He'd be a cool villain in this. Actually, no, he's a villain. He's
Well,
an
he's been
arsehole.
one of us.
a fire trap. We can go in corridors and small rooms, and it affects all villagers. It does 3 damage, and town heroes suffer burns.
See, I think we should consider putting it in, because these 2 are definitely going to get walked through at some point. So even if
yeah.
they don't trigger that turn, eventually they're going to be useful. But obviously, at the moment, we should worry about the heart.
Yes.
You get first player.
Ooh. Dice me, please, Dev. That would be great if I rolled that. That was hot garbage. I nearly rolled one of everything. I don't want to keep that. What have we got for the traps? Can you have a room with more than one trap in it?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
What does that chandelier do?
Chandelier 2 damage and villagers retreat 1
We can
zone.
put it in any zone, can't we?
Small rooms only.
Chandelier. If it was any room.
No, small rooms only.
Large rooms only.
Oh, sorry, large rooms only.
I'm gonna
5
do-
trap goes in small rooms and corridors, as does the crushing walls.
I'm going to put that chandelier in there, I think.
Okay.
You got to sing the song as well, man.
What's the song?
You're going to swing from the chandelier.
I don't even know what song that is.
From the woman who wears the wigs and stuff. Sia, is it?
The woman that wears the
Good
wigs.
grief. Either I don't know anything about pop culture, or you
You're gonna
guys
have
are
to
talking
link
about the
this,
most
yeah.
obscure shit. I've basically got fuck all else to do. I think I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to activate the villagers. So I think it's those guys.
Yeah, it will
1, 2,
be.
3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
These are going-
And my eyes see no reason to keep that, but I will anyway. That's me.
All right, Tony,
There you
take it
go.
away.
Just to be clear, I killed nothing.
Because you suck.
I'm glad you're on the team, man.
I do. I am a vampire.
That's why I said it.
Well, that's one of everything. 2 of those.
Right. 2 range.
How good you did about as well as I did then.
Oh, I used the 2 range first.
I like the fact that everyone's ignoring all the peasants and stuff on the board.
Oh, crap.
You might want to move into our space first and shoot in there.
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely think
I like
it's
there's a
better.
massive horde of people dancing on our
I
graves.
didn't ignore them. I'm carrying this heavy bastard and I couldn't do anything about it.
If it makes you guys feel better, I'm going to spawn there.
And immediately
and to be
died.
fair, They hate you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're going to attack you, not the heart.
And I have to attack them first.
Hang on, if I
But you won't die.
use that, do they get to attack the heart first?
No, because it'll be
No.
It'll be
No,
these.
miss.
This guy moves.
Yeah, and then these guys.
Okay, well I'll do that then. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's flip the coin.
No, it's them first.
Oh, is it? Oh, yes, because it's right.
Haven't they already moved this turn though? Which would
Doesn't
dictate
matter.
his hit?
No, he hasn't moved it in his turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they will go. They trigger in a priority order.
What's the priority order again?
Peasants, hunters,
heroes.
town
And
heroes.
heroes are last. Okay.
So we've got to take out the peasants first. Or can you choose?
No,
You have to do peasants first. Peasants are the lonely ones.
The hunters like duck behind them.
The shoot.
Okay.
You good? Did you move with that?
Yeah.
You can't move with that.
Can't you?
No. You have to move the shield then if you.
No,
Okay.
I was going to say he can move, but actually move the hunters.
Yeah, but you can't also spend it to.
Yeah.
Don't spend it.
So he just doesn't get the
So
shield.
it goes. And that leaves me that. I might as well bank that. There's no reason not to. That's it. Oh, and I get 2 experience as well.
He's gonna level up again before we've leveled up once.
Well, I've lost all my experience for dying.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
You never told us that.
I'm telling you now. It's bad.
Okay. That
2 range isn't bad though, Dave.
and hand attacky as well.
Well, that is true. Yeah, so you could move in there as well. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. So I think I'll start by doing 2 range and
No, yeah, it'd be the peasant and one of those.
oh yeah, I didn't even see him. Peasant and one of those can die. Make it a bit safer to Jason to walk in there or spawn in there, I should say.
That's much better now.
I shall then bank 1 defense. I think I'll bank that attack. And then I shall use the other defense to move 1. And I shall go.
If you stop there, you get burned.
But I have to stop there anyway because I can only ever get 1 movement.
Well then, go.
At least I'm not on fire anymore.
That's small mercies then.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go there and get burned.
And then your torch.
And the torch will be that
guy.
fella.
Yeah.
And then I get 2 experience, which means I actually level up because oh no, it's wounds. I don't level up. I just get 2 experience.
Oh man, you can't spend wounds to level up, damn it. Jason's about level 6 by now.
Yeah, I'll be dead before I actually use my experience.
Alright, so I teleport in there. The castle heart loses 2 health. So we're down to 14 now. And I'll roll some bones. I take my turn as normal.
We've all rolled really shit this turn. Like,
Alright.
and every single one had a torch in it as well.
So I can't actually hurt anyone.
Typical.
You've got a range.
I can't hurt anyone in my square.
You can move out and then shoot in,
Yeah.
That's true, that's true.
And they'll still, because they've got range.
and then
they'll
move
still
back
attack
in
you.
and take and retaliate.
So I'm going to go
I'm
there.
not kidding, man.
I'm going to shoot that guy.
And put a retaliate down. Done. Then you'll kill him. Okay, you'll take 2 to the face, but so what? He's dead.
You won't hit the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my unlucky skill.
Take 1 for the team.
He won't hit the heart anyway because he's got range.
Oh,
so he'll
don't
shoot
put your
out.
unlucky
Yeah.
near.
It just means.
I'm thinking these guys are going to...
Yeah, he's going to shoot you whatever happens unless you move away.
Yeah.
So why don't move back in and at least kill
I'll
him?
do that, but I'm thinking about the 2 eyes I've still got.
Yeah, don't.
I'm thinking of putting unlucky
No,
in here.
no, don't, because I've got my nemesis coming in there, and if you unluck me, I can't deal with him.
Yeah, you know what'll happen there? It'll be Tony can't hit him and he'll just paddle him.
Oh, these 2 eyes are shit. Oh yeah, I can buy it. Oh no, they defense
You
and
could make the armory unlucky
but they're gonna.
because they have range.
That is a fair point.
But
And
then-
they do extra damage as well.
But if
and
I do that, I have to go into the square with
No,
them.
you don't. Target zone. So you're targeting that zone.
I'll buy that. Okay, so I will make this zone unlucky. Let's just use this token for now, and then I will spend my last eye to move back in there and I've put a retaliate on my, board.
Board.
Yeah.
Take
And
one for the team.
I've got the village dudes. I just realised they moving.
Oh. So putting unlucky on there was completely and utterly pointless.
Yes.
Unlucky's the horseshoe.
It's your go, man.
Good. That was points well spent. I was the first player, so it's actually their go.
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Right. What happens?
All right. So first thing we're gonna
I die.
wait, not yet.
No, I do die. 1, 2, 3 hunters with range, and I'm there with 3 health.
All right. Well, first we're gonna get our first event.
Oh dear.
So we are beset on all sides.
Agreed.
Spawn one hunter at every spawn point.
One hunter.
Yeah.
Do we do colour for them as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so one by Tony is
Not that one.
Is that
green.
Yeah, that's only time.
Obviously green. One by Dave is purple. So apparently I can only draw green and purple from this bag. I feel alright, Tony. There is blue in here, right? Yes, there is.
All right. So that was our event for this phase. Now we start with the zone closest to the heart, which would be the one on the heart, who's going to shoot me for 2 damage because he's my nemesis. But I do have a retaliation.
Whoa.
Oh, I just took 4. I do have a retaliation sitting on my board, so I can spend that to club him to death
Would you like to?
and get a point back in return.
Yes.
Then these guys here are all going to murderize Dave.
I die.
Wait, how many life you got?
3.
No.
He's got 3 left.
Right, which means how many were there to attack? 4.
Yeah.
So 2 of them were enough to kill him because that's 4 damage between
Yeah,
the 2
which
of them.
means the other 2 then are going to attack either me or.
No, they can shoot the heart because they got range.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So that's 2 more damage on the heart.
On the plus side, I'm no longer burning.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it's not much of a plus side.
Okay, and then
That guy over there,
how did this person get hit?
I was carrier.
he's dropped her.
Does she stand back up then?
All right, we'll check that in a second. So
At least that, surely.
none of the other guys have got range that are within range. So everyone else moves.
So he'll move up to there, and he'll move up to there.
And then traps
Traps.
trigger. So the one down there where that dude hunter just moved into.
Move villager 1 zone in any direction.
Backwards, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and what's this one do? Hang on. What order do we do the traps?
We choose.
So what does this one do? 2 damage and villagers retreat 1 zone. What does that one do?
Move all villagers.
Right,
1
so why don't we
zone
do this
into each
one? Do
Yeah,
2 damage to this
yeah.
guy, move him back to there, and
Yeah.
then spring them both back.
And that's
Nice.
nice. The traps used.
There we go. That's all right.
It's okay.
And then we spawn new villagers.
Oh,
Do we have to?
okay, Tony, next to you, 4 peasants.
1, 2, 3.
4.
And Dave, next to you, 3 hunters. Let's see if it's Jason or Dave they're going to hate. Boo! It's Jason!
This game sucks.
Are you starting to feel a little victimised? Because I am.
It's lucky you can use your superpower. It allows you to feel colours.
Yeah. All right. So let's spawn new villagers. So now we remove all expired tokens. There isn't any deal 1 new trap card.
Unlucky goes?
Oh yeah, unlucky goes. Our new trap card is Swinging Blades. So
3 damage in a corridor, is that?
yeah, and it affects
Nice.
peasants and hunters.
Oh man, get out in there.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the first play coin moves on to Tony.
Should we stop filming there?
Yeah, I think so. So I mean, that's you get a general gist of what's happening. Yeah, basically we're getting our butts handed to us by a bunch of pitchfork wielding maniacs.
Yeah.
So we'll be back when we finish this game and we've delivered all the peasants to the kitchen,
Oh,
When we did. We'll be back to say we died.
and then we'll give you our verdict on village attacks. See you in a bit. Alrighty, so we've finished off the game, and can you believe it? We won. We kicked some ass and eating some peasants, just by the skin of our teeth. We've got 4 dudes in the kitchen, And you may well know
Someone's in the kitchen with Tony.
Martin is standing on the heart with the bounty hunter.
Who is terrifying. Good God.
We've got a gravedigger just in behind there. We've got peasants all over the place. We've got the executioner just in behind them. We just killed the Skald as well. The Skald that you saw in the video, we only just killed. And I died on my last turn.
Yeah, so
Saving
actually the
everyone.
Castle
Again.
Heart was down to 6 hit points.
Yeah.
So we were teetering.
But we managed to do it. And it was pretty exciting, I got to admit. There was some freaking craziness going on all over the show. We had a point where there was so much damage flying around in the middle here. We were just like falling over like flies. But
All of us died at one point, apart from Tony.
Yep.
yeah, Tony just slowly trundled his way through.
Tank.
Look at that. He's taken 3 damage the whole game.
And that's from...
Burning.
Fire. He's been on fire for half of it.
I've been cooking the food and I've been going to the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Alright, so that was a village attacks. Obviously, a successful attempt for us on scenario 6. Let's have a quick chat with the lads, what they think. Martin, this is the... Well, you've played this a few times now. We're
Well,
about 4 times tonight, and once at
Third
Essen.
game tonight. So we did. I played it. I actually played this scenario at Essen to try it out first of all. Obviously, that was just a demo game, so we didn't get to finish it. And then we did the 2 tutorial games, which I found were okay. I think there's just not a lot to them because they're kind of drip feeding some of the mechanisms in there. They're all right because they're drip feeding mechanics and information to you. They just weren't that exciting. But then we jumped ahead to 6. Basically, this is like the first, if you like, of the real games, and I thought this was miles better. The mechanisms, and so the heroes were cool and they're dangerous. The traps were really interesting, like where you're going to set up choke points and things like that. It felt much more like a tower defense game, which is basically what it is. And the fact that it wasn't just killing the things as well, we actually had objectives to do. I thought it was really cool. It's not really my kind of game, generally speaking, but yeah, I thought it was good, entertaining. I think out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7. I think I would definitely play it again. I'd like to see kind of more of the scenarios.
Yeah.
I liked it.
There's quite a lot of other heroes and other villains. Not well, we're the villains technically, but there's lots of other.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of other characters you can play in the expansions that you can add on, and there's also quite a few other types of heroes that attack you and creatures and
There
things
are
like
a
that.
few, I suppose, niggles I've got. So some of the characters are kind of like support characters, and some are like frontline attacky characters, that sort of thing. It seems to be that you get experience points from only killing things. So you kind of go on a bit of a bell curve. When you're one of the attacky guys, you kill a lot of things, you get a lot of experience, so you then buy more powers, which then enables you to kill more and more things, whereas the support characters really struggle to get that foothold, and they don't really get powers that kill things anyway, so they have a really slow progression, and the thing that makes your characters interesting is gaining them more powers as well. So it's a bit of a shame, and it would have been nice if some of their kind of support powers gave them experience points outside of, killing things.
Yeah.
So that was a minor niggle. But other than that, I thought it was pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Like, I feel like, I think artwork-wise, the artwork is amazing, and I love the idea of the theme. The theme is really cool. The miniatures are fantastic. I mean, I've done a couple. I just want to show you guys here. This is a little diorama I made with the vampire model, and I don't know if you could see that. There we go. So the models are fantastic. They are really, really good quality. I mean, this is some of the peasant models, and it's literally just great. They're fantastic. The artwork is really, really good. The components of all the pieces are really good. The dice are really nice. The cards are all well scripted out. The rulebook is well written out, although I think it's probably too well written out because there's a lot to read
Bit
through.
verbose,
Yeah,
a bit wordy.
yeah. I mean, and when you're looking for something in the book, you have to read through quite a lot of stuff.
I think it would have been nice, and I actually said this to Adam, and he thought I was taking the piss, but I think it would have been nice if there was an index so you could literally go, okay, I want to find X, where in the book is it?
Yeah.
Because we both spent ages looking for one specific thing and we couldn't bloody find it for ages. And it's not that it's not in there and it's not clearly written, it's just that we couldn't remember specifically what it was, and then we just started looking and couldn't see
Yeah,
it.
there's quite a lot to go through in the rules, even though it's not a very heavy rules game.
Actually, I think mechanically it's really quite straightforward. To
Yeah.
It's not very difficult at all.
I think so. From components wise and theme wise, it's really really good. Obviously, it's a co-op game, so there's not a lot of downtime because you're obviously always involved in what's going on and talking about the decisions and stuff. The couple of niggles I have one which is I think there's not a lot you can do on your turn depending on what the dice come up with.
Yeah.
You know, you roll those 6 dice.
I would definitely prefer to have seen some way to have more dice mitigation in there. That you can roll things again if you've rolled 3 or more of the same dice. It's fine, but if you roll 2 of one thing, 2 of another, and then 2 ones, and 4 of those dice are effectively worthless, then you're stuck doing nothing.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. It'd be nice to have some level of mitigation in there, even if it was like
Well,
spend a die to re-roll a dice, so you've got one, something like that.
And even just a variation in this stuff as well, because if you roll 3 melee attacks or 3 range attacks, you're always going to keep those because
Almost
you can use
certainly,
any dice
yeah.
to move,
Yeah.
so they'll benefit you anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it would have been nice if, like, the retaliation one did something, like if you spent it as a movement point, maybe give you an extra movement or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they would seem to be the ones that, I mean, I've got, funny enough, 2 in my reserve there. They seem to be the ones you always kept
Yeah.
because you weren't spending them for anything else.
and the
You might as well.
same with the magic dice as well, the eye.
Yeah.
You know, there's not enough of things to do with them other than, say, for instance, you know, go heal or something like that. So I think that would have been a little cool if there was just a little more mitigation. The other thing I also would like is like your abilities on your characters. So, for example, I played the Banshee. I played the Banshee all night tonight, but I don't think there's a lot of replayability in the characters
Yeah.
themselves.
I totally agree there. I think there's a couple of things I'd like to see. I'd like to see alternate versions. So, like, for example, with the vampire, you have bat form, or you could take something which replaces bat form and you could basically have
Yeah.
that instead. So it's an alternate thing. And also some generic abilities that any of us could buy,
Yeah.
which would be adds a bit of variability,
Customization
in there,
to your
customization,
character.
that sort of thing. And maybe they're in addition to the 3 powers you get. So you can actually, because it says if you level up when you've got all your powers and stuff as well, you just heal one or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas maybe you can have a generic one as well. You know, you get an extra slot
Yeah.
or something, just to give yourself a bit more customization. I think.
So those are just a couple of the minor quirks quibbles I have with it. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of other characters that you can play at a later stage once, but you would have to
The problem
buy
is
all
that-
those.
But also that adds to the variability in terms of, you know, if we played again, we can all change our characters around, that sort of thing. But you might think, I really like that character. I want to see what else he's got. And once you basically leveled him up to maximum, you've seen everything he's got to give.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's a shame, I think. It would be nice to see a bit of variability in it. The advantage is they're easily added. So if Adam decides that's a route he wants to go, that's not difficult to do that. It's not like we're saying you need to break the game to do this. You can just add it as an expansion, no problem whatsoever.
And I think a very minor quibble is that I think the game could do with some more dice. I know you can buy extra dice,
Very much so, yeah.
yeah, but you know it's you know like quite annoying. I'll put this in my reserve and then have to swap it out with tokens.
Yeah, when we played at Essen, every player had a set of 6 dice, and so you just, rather than swap them for the counters, you just kept the dice in the spots. It
Yeah.
just made everything make much more sense. And then when it came around to your turn again, you knew, am I spending these dice to re-roll, or am I keeping them there as bank dice and rolling less? Because you had them there already. It was simple.
Right.
And in fact, if I remember rightly, he said that they've done dice of different colours as well. So
To match the monsters.
Each character's got, so this one will have a blue, that one will have a red, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
and I know
absolutely,
you
yeah.
can buy those separately, but that's just a minor little
Yeah,
thing.
I think, to be fair, pretty much every game like this, or Dungeon Crawl, anything like that comes with like custom dice, never has enough dice.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost
Fantasy
certainly.
Flight are kings for that.
Well, yeah. Here's a game, 4 dice in it. You can buy a new dice set. Oh, great.
I really like the traps and stuff. I think they're really cool. I really like the idea of the monster. The heroes are super cool. They scare the
Actually,
shit
one of
out
the
of
things I
you.
really liked as well was the morale. I know the morale track didn't
In this
come in on
scenario,
that
yeah.
one, but I actually really quite like that. The fact that the more damage we did, the worse it got for us later on. I know we mowed through that scenario.
Yeah.
It was an easy tutorial one, but I think that would make a really interesting twist on things as well. You know,
Hmm.
do I want to kill that guy? Because if I do, then we're into the next tier, and then when they spawn, that's going to be a lot more characters.
Yeah.
Or do we wait until everyone's got their turn on again, things like that.
I think the scenarios also create extra replayability. You don't see a lot of the events often because they trigger at increments of 5.
Yeah, I mean, if you see 2 a game, you're probably playing slowly.
So there's that. So from my perspective, I like the game. I think there's some minor things there that have bugged me a little bit, but other than that, I quite enjoyed it. The theme is really good. The models are great. The artwork is brilliant. Not a lot of downtime. I'm not a massive fan of co-op games, but this type of co-op is cool. So for me, this is 8.5.
I think the reason why this type of card works better is because it's not a puzzle that you're trying to solve where one person goes, do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
You've got your own character, your own abilities, and you're rolling the dice, and you're kind of slightly dictated by what the dice do anyway. So other people give advice and stuff, you could do that, and that's bound to happen. It's a card, but ultimately you're in charge of your own character, your own things, and so that's why the kind of alpha gamer thing is very much mitigated.
Very much so. How about you, Tone?
Well, I can't add much more than that. I think you've covered pretty much everything there. I did
talk a
like,
lot, yeah.
I did like on your action dice that there is one face that activates the
Yes.
opponent.
It's like a dud face.
Yeah, well, it's not just a dud face.
You can use it to your advantage.
You
as well.
can use it
Bring
to
them
your
yeah.
advantage, but it also means that all the enemy just don't wait until the end and then just activate at the end. So it throws a bit of the planning out that you can do as a team going round because you can't think. Well,
and that's
they're gonna
important,
wait
I think,
till-
because it keeps that unknown quantity in there. So you can't just go, okay, well, that guy's going to go, and then that guy's going to go. So we know where everyone's going to be. Like we're putting traps down, going, they'll trigger, and then because of torches, they walked past them and like, shit, now those traps are going to do nothing.
Yeah.
We're relying on that trap and things like that.
And well, being a pretty much fully co-op game like it is, it'd probably make quite a good solo game.
I think you probably need to use
You'd
more
play
than one. Yeah.
you'd play multiple characters, but it'd be an interesting solo game.
Ironically, I think this game plays probably best at 1 or 3 players.
Why one?
Because 1, you like Tony says, is a good solo game, so you can manage everything on your own as a more of a puzzly nature. But 3, you don't have to modify the cards and stuff like that to the number of players, and there's even less downtime, that sort of thing.
Optional rule that we used? I can't remember now.
And actually, for this type of game, the AI mechanics are really quite good. In that, how the spawn points are spaced, and the furthest one triggers, and then the next one. That
Yeah,
works
it
quite
says
well.
if players would like to play with more or less, they should make the following adjustments. So it's basically a recommended rule.
Yeah.
Score-wise, I don't know. I would say 6.5.
All right. And
That's just for my type of games that I
Yeah.
like and don't like. But it is a good game. The mechanics are very functional. As I say, the AI is good. And I like the action dice.
There's a lot to like about the game, but there's a couple of niggly things that might slow the game down a bit, and might, like, some players who don't like luck in their games, probably not going to be
I'm not a
fan.
big luck fan either, man, but it's the type of game it is. It doesn't matter so much because it's a co-op as well. I mean, when you're playing against everybody else and luck's kicking you in the dick, it's kind of like it feels unfair. But because we're all working to the same goal, one person's being unlucky. It doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, because someone else can cover you on their turn.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's not quite so bad in this kind of game.
What do you think of the miniatures, Tone?
Yeah, excellent miniatures. Absolutely excellent miniatures.
There are a ton more as well. I've seen like little expansions and stuff. It's crazy amount. And they're really well detailed as well. I mean, Grimlord guys focus a lot on the attention to detail on the miniatures. So they're really, really top quality.
This headless horseman guy, it's not a horseman, I suppose, but he's holding his head and he's just got a bare neck there. It's very cool.
How about you, Dave? What do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed the game. I mean, I do like a dungeon crawl anyway. I liked while it wasn't really useful for us because we do play a lot of games, I did like the idea of the introduction campaigns teaching you the rules. Because in like my other gaming group, I have people who are less experienced gamers and distracted. So if you're reading a heavy rule book to them, they do get distracted, and like a phone might be played with. and it's like, what did you say? Where if you're explaining a very basic set of rules and then say, right, we'll play this. So while it didn't work for us and we quickly skipped out of that,
a bit of a shame it didn't go one step more and basically have you avoid reading the rule book completely and just go, this is how you do it, you know, how you move, how you do this, how you do that, that sort of thing, and then you could just play without anything, any prep. But it is what it is. But I mean, it certainly taught the mechanics easy enough.
Yeah. You say that?
The miniatures, like we've already said, are brilliant. I mean, from somebody who paints them like yourself, you probably appreciate them a lot more than myself, because the attention to detail gives you more to do on them. I like the dice, like has already been said. I do think that you can get just stuck and go, I've rolled absolutely nothing, I can do this turn, which is a shame that you can't. Even if it's like a severe one where you ditch one dice but you have to re-roll everything, I think would still be worth it on certain occasions.
Yeah, they did feel like it's like, especially in the tutorial missions, and obviously we know that it's a tutorial mission, so. But they are like when you've wiped out everything and there's nothing on the board to do, and you're the last person on the turn.
Which happened to you a couple of times.
Yeah, you kind of go, well, I've got nothing to do on my turn, no matter what I roll. So I'll just bank some dice and mill around and see what happens.
I definitely agree with Martin on these. While I like my leech character, I'll be honest, there's only probably 2 of the abilities out of the 3 that up to the mission that we've played that I've thought, yeah, they're good. Zombify.
Same with me, actually. I use the same ability in all the games we played tonight.
Yeah.
Just this is the first one I'm going to upgrade easily.
And I also agree with Martin that it does seem a bit disjointed, because both me and Martin got 1 upgrade each in the entire game. Tony and yourself.
Always got 2.
Yeah, always
But
got
then
2.
on the fighty one,
Yeah,
that was.
I mean, they
killing
have
Crown
addressed
for-
that to a degree in the fact that it costs more for Tony to level up. But that will tell you how many more experience points Tony got. It costs 5 for Dave to level up. He's only leveled up once. Tony's leveled up twice. It costs 7. So he's spent 14 points. Dave spent 5.
Yeah.
So there is a sort of a mismatch there. That it would be nice if, as a support character, you use your support abilities in a supportive way.
Yeah.
You fulfill your role essentially, and you gain abilities that way.
Because like your
Why
character heals, so you could spend a good portion of your game healing and getting nothing for it.
Yeah.
But really helping the party out by keeping us alive.
Whereas you did exactly what you meant to do: run into things and massacre them. But
Tony Smash.
You, as I say, went on a bell curve. You got more and more powerful the more you did that because you could.
Because it's a full co-op game, I mean, there's a little thing to say that it doesn't really matter that much, because as long as everyone...
I kind of agree with that sentiment, but it's cool getting new powers
Yeah.
for your ability.
And-
And when people at the table are not getting those cool powers, that's bad for them.
And also, you don't sometimes, if as the one person who's not getting the cool shit, you feel like, well, everyone's happy with the win, but you're feeling kind of,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm only mad
The
about
only
it.
other way to address it is if experience points went into a pool.
Yeah.
Or if you die, because all 3 of us died, you don't lose all your experience, maybe it's half experience.
Well, when I died, I didn't lose any because I just leveled up.
Yeah,
So-
I lost
But both
5
me and
or
Jason-
4, yeah.
yeah, 4.
Lost, a lot of experience that way.
How much were you rated, Dave?
Solid 7, possibly squeaking up to 7.5.
Oh, he's thinking about that half point.
Yeah, there's better games for me out there. I enjoy Dungeon Crawl. I enjoy a co-op game, but would I play it again? Definitely, but I would pick something else off a shelf potentially before it.
Well, I imagine this is something for you, in terms of you, if you came around here, you'd play it here, but you wouldn't buy it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's interesting about this is, like, because obviously this is a full-on tower defense game. The only other game I know of that's like this in the industry is the Orcs Must Die game from Sandy Peterson Games. And that got panned really badly, in terms of, because it's a similar sort of thing. You've got miniatures, and you basically, the AI are trying to march towards the portal and destroy the castle, and you're basically heroes running around trying to stop them. So I really want to try that and compare the two and see how that works, because I thought this was decent. I really liked it a lot. I really want to try a little, like, if I think this would be a brilliant game if there was just a little more customization on the characters and just a little more mitigation on the dice.
And as I say, I think both of those, if they wanted to, they could add an expansion quite comfortably.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be a big, complex expansion. It could be a small box thing that adds, a few more powers, maybe a generic ability that everyone gets to do with re-rolling dice, and you basically disco.
I would have liked to have seen more city heroes as well. There is one to versus every one of us, but
There is there was
the fact that we cycled through them.
Oh, these guys.
Yeah.
there is actually a rule in the book that basically you can add more, but you have to have an equal amount.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you want 10 heroes, you need 2 of each type and that sort of thing. So there's that, but you need to buy extra stuff. It's not in the base box.
Yeah, that's what I say. I think I would just like them in the base box.
This is everything in the base box.
Yeah, exactly,
There's
yeah.
no expansions or anything. I mean, there's a fair amount.
How many scenarios are in the book?
There's 14 scenarios, but obviously the first 5 are
tutorials.
Stuff. Although I suspect the 5th one is probably
The first game.
everything
Yeah.
in it, and then the 6th one is the first proper game, which is what we just played. But I think that's a reasonable amount, and because I don't know if you've got a campaign in there at all, I'm not really sure. But because it's not really a story-based game, there's nothing to stop you replaying like this mission specifically, because it's gonna be different. You're not based on, well, I know the story now. It's now dead to me.
The games are definitely replayable,
very
and especially
much so,
if you're adding all the different enemies from the expansion packs and stuff.
yeah.
Like, hopefully they'll.
And having, say Tony's not playing and the vampire is now the succubus, and suddenly you've got a completely different dynamic in the group, and so you'll approach it very differently. So, I think there's quite a lot of replayability in just the base box.
It's quality production. So
And a lot of miniatures in there as well. There's 2
Yeah.
trays
Yeah.
of miniatures in there.
insert's really good as well. Everything packs back nicely. So this is a solid production from.
What else have Grimwald done? They did.
Well, they got Endure the Stars, which
Endure the Stars,
is
that was
coming
it.
out soon. This is obviously coming from not been released to Kickstarter. Wait, let me start that again. This has not come to backers yet from the Kickstarter. This is a review copy. So this is not out yet, but I think it's coming out in about a month, 2 months time. Then Endure the Stars 2.5 is coming back, and then they got
So Endure the Stars has already been out.
and then they did a 2.5 version of it. So they learned a lot from their first one, and then added some more stuff to that. And then they got their third game, which is
Everrain.
coming to Kickstarter, called the Everrain, which looks amazing as well, and completely different. So you got a sci-fi dungeon crawler, you got a tower defense fantasy style game, and then you got the Everrain, which is going to be more of a ship-to-ship based combat game with
Right, so
sort of like
the
a,
exploration in there, a bit of Cthulhu mythos in there,
Yeah. and they all come with fantastic miniatures for all of them. So
that's basically their remit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really? Don't matter what it is, as long as it comes with pre-miniatures.
Adam seems to like, if a game doesn't come with miniatures, it's not a good game. But which I don't disagree with, because I'm a miniature guy myself. But I think this is
He
good.
says without any sense of irony.
I thought that as well.
So I think this is really good, and obviously you got good variant.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say, just looking at the scores, we all found it fairly positive.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tony was the lowest at 6.5, and that's still a solid game. You were 7, Dave 7.5, and I was 8.5.
And I'd say with experienced people, persist with the tutorials, because I found those quite bland
Or
and dull. The first
Skip
proper
them.
game.
Just go straight in.
Well, read all the rules and skip them, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you have someone that's read the rules and actually took any of it in, rather than skim read the rules and actually had none of it in his head whatsoever.
It's a good idea if you're, novice gamers. Those tutorials
Very
will
much
work
so,
well,
yeah.
Yeah.
very much so. But, more experienced gamers probably read the rules and go to the first proper scenario.
Some might actually say this is quite what do they call it? Fidgety, like lots of stuff that you have to mark and things like that. I didn't find it that much.
No,
It's just a
really.
case of chucking a few counters around the table at each other. Possibly a few more of them counters would have helped, because
Well,
we did
rather
run
another
Oh,
dice,
dice.
yeah. Cool. Well, that's us done. Village Attacks from Grimlord Games. If you like it, go check it out. Well, you got to wait till it comes to retail after Kickstarter. But thanks for watching. See you guys later.
Bye.